Hello, welcome to Gaming Again. My name is Muzz, and I want to start by saying this video is going to be quite a serious one. I'm going to delve into the subject of masculinity, toxic masculinity, and I have already recorded this and it did get pretty serious. So I just want to warn you now, if you are not up for that sort of video, then move on. No, don't worry, I understand. I know these sort of subjects are not for everyone. However, I do think it is a very important one. And I think Adolescent is a very important piece of media that has just been released. Now, I'll kind of touch on why I think that is throughout the kind of video. I just want to say this isn't a review of Adolescent. I may do that later on at some point, maybe do that as my next video, but I want to focus on the subject matter, which revolves around a young 13-year-old boy named Jamie, who has been accused of the murder of a young girl. And the subject matter kind of comes through it for me was like toxic masculinity, this idea of young people be having their minds warped by social media, by influencers, and I'm going to be delving in through it through the eyes of a teacher, because I am a teacher and I deal with these things on a daily basis. The second episode, which is the one at the school in particular, was like looking at a mirror of my school. Like, I deal with incidents like that on a daily basis. Not but if you watch the school episode, you know what I mean. Like, not the murder stuff, because that would be a lot. But like, when you see the petulant, when you see the behaviour issues, the behaviour management in the school, not too dissimilar to what I have to go through on a daily basis. Like the comments I hear from young people towards each other is horrific. It's homophobic, it's racist, it is offensive, it is just downright awful. And I deal with those situations as best I can. I specifically want to focus on masculinity because I think that is a subject that it's a subject I'm very passionate about. I have done many things on masculinity in my life in terms of schools, different facilities. I've not really discussed it on this platform before because I've never known how to bring it up. Like, I've never known how to talk about how I feel about masculinity without, I guess, coming across as like preachy or. If you've watched my content, you know I am very against like masculinity, and I give off the vibe, I think, that I am very secure with me as a man. Like, the stuff that I wear, talking about my own mental health, I'm very secure in the person I am and what I bring to the table in terms of, I believe I am a role model, a good role model for young men, young boys. I think I am, because I am very honest with myself, very no, don't wear my heart on my sleeve, but I'm quite sensitive in terms of my emotions. I obviously wear different clothes that is outside of the norm from what your average man would wear. But adolescent, gave me, I think, has given me the platform to now speak about it and get it on record how I feel about the current climate of masculinity. In a word, it's atrocious. I think what I see on a daily basis with young men, I say young men, yeah, young men, because by the time you're 17, 18, I guess, in high school, you are a young man. And young boys is worrying, very worrying. Now, I want to say it is a minority. It is a minority, the pupils that I'm going to be talking about, but the minority seems to get bigger, and definitely the more extreme case in the minority is a minority, but just the comments and the things that these pupils are being exposed to on a daily basis through social media, through these influencers, I, as a teacher, find worrying. Give you an example. I had a young man, we're in the change room, I've done MMA, considered a very masculine thing in society, despite it being, having some of the best fights have been of females. Joanna Jacek and Wan Lee, I think that's her name, is one of the best fights I've ever watched. And we're talking about MMA, I was talking about my experience. One of the boys had just taken up, I was kind of talking about him. And one of the boys pipes up and goes, "I love Conor McGregor." Now, I looked at him and I was about to say, you do know what he's done. He followed that up without me even saying anything, apart from the rape stuff. Apart from the rape stuff. So he still loves Conor McGregor, even though he's a convicted rapist. And I challenged him on it. I was like, so you know what he's done. How can you justify still liking him? And we got into, not a debate, he was justifying it and I was pushing back on it, and hopefully I've opened his eyes to maybe being like, maybe Conor McGregor isn't the role model or the person I should be looking to. But the worrying thing there was he knew Conor McGregor was a rapist, but he was still willing to listen and willing to follow what he had to do. Conor McGregor was just one example of a celebrity who I believe is sending out the wrong message when it comes to masculinity. Let's talk about the big one, Andrew Tate. He has made his money from young people, young men, who feel lost in our society. And they feel that his methods, his ways are filling the void that they need. And I just think he's a cancer on society. He is teaching these young men all the wrong issues, the wrong methods. Focusing on money, how to get girls, fast cars, talking about reading is bad. And some of it, I think some of it is an act, but they don't know that. The messages that are coming out of him are being heard by these young people and are being replicated. You only need to look at, I could name a few more, not even a few, 10, 20 more similar people who are doing similar things or are just being degenerate. And it's having a serious effect on these young people's lives. The way they are skewed to see things in a certain way. Focusing on Scotland, because that's obviously where I am. I sounded very Scottish when I said that. We've saw a rise in misogynistic behaviour in schools, whether it be comments, whether it be incidents, teachers being verbally abused, female teachers being verbally abused by young men, young boys, is it's worrying. It really is a worry for me as someone who tries to preach a positive message of masculine. And I don't want to put labels on it, but it has to be said. I'm someone who, through the mental health stuff, I'm shown, I am someone who looks a certain way. I look athletic. And if people see me, the hope with doing the mental health stuff is that if people see me, I'm young still, I hope. Young man who's fit and active, looks a certain way, talking openly about his mental health, that I will inspire young men, young boys to do the same. And through the clothes that I wear, I'm very open, it's very flamboyant, it's very different. And I just want to help these young men navigate life because it's difficult. I think I was very lucky in my childhood and growing up that I never had social media, which I think is the big issue. Social media was just kind of blossoming. We wasn't sure what it was. Like, you had Bebo, yes, I had a Bebo. Just starting off on Facebook, and there was no. It wasn't used for news. It wasn't used for that. It was used for talking and all that crap. But nowadays, what these young people see on a daily basis is, I'm trying to think of a better word than, or a newer word than horrendous, but it's horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. They're being exposed to stuff that I wasn't exposed to until I was like 16, 17, 18. They're being exposed to it 8, 9, 10, and it is having a drastic effect. I've been working with young people since I was 17, 18, all the way up to the age I'm now, 30, so a good experience working with young people. The shift I have seen from starting then to now is, it's worrying. We are moving in the wrong direction as a society, I believe, and I think we need intervention. Now, I have solutions. Are they feasible? I think so. I think it would take a lot of effort. The first one's ban social media for anyone under the age of 18. You can maybe convince me 16, but definitely 16, push it up to 18. These young people don't have the mental capacity yet to decipher what is right and what is wrong on these social media platforms. They don't have it. Added on that, the screen time, their attention span is all wrapped up in their just staring at a phone. Like, it's heartbreaking on a Monday. I do a breakfast club on a Monday, and I sit in the social area of the school, got a breakfast, and kids will come up and get some breakfast, snacks, apple juice, that sort of thing. And I look at a group of 10 kids on a table, sitting there, all on their phones, glued to the screen, because it's easier to be glued to the screen than it is to have a conversation with the people around them. It is, as a teacher, as someone who works with young people on a daily basis, it is wrong. I would ban smartphones as well. You can have a phone, you can have a way of contacting them, it just can't be a smartphone. Ban it, make it under 18s. Again, you can definitely 16-year-olds, but I would aim high. Because I think it genuinely is something that is we are going to get to a crisis point with. We may have already hit it. I think we're going to have a lost generation of, maybe not that extreme, but we're going to have a lost section of the generation who are being influenced by these people, being radicalised, and I'm using that term, radicalised, because that's what it is. Their minds are being warped into believing a certain way, and we might not have the Jamie. We do see like Jamies in the society. I think we'll see them more frequently if we don't stop. If we don't stop, we don't take a look at what is going on right now and be like, we might need to do something with this. And that's down to governments, that's down to, I think of like authorities, like to have a look at this sort of stuff. I'm just a teacher at the end of the day. I work in a small pocket of the world, I work in one school, but yeah, that school scene, bringing it back to adolescence I was like, this is what I go through. I was like, this is what I go through. Dealing with phones, dealing with misogynistic, homophobic, racist comments. And I know it's my job to educate them as a teacher. But I think as a society, we need to ask questions. Where are they hearing these comments? Is it at home? Is it off the internet? Is it on social media? Can we control these avenues? Anyway, I told you it was going to be serious, and I think I wanted it to be serious because I genuinely care about, obviously, the lives of the young people I work with, but I obviously care about society and the way we're going. Like, we need to do something, in my opinion. Let me know. Talk to me down below. If you agree, disagree, I'm open to hearing it all. Am I blowing this out of proportion? Am I, um, am I blowing this out of proportion? That's all I had to say. Or do you think I'm along the right lines? How would you solve it if you do think I am right? Ah, that was tough. I did find that tough. I had to, yeah. That was a tough video to make. I'm not gonna lie. It was. I care. I think that's the main point I want to get across. I'm not doing this because I don't know, for clout or anything. Definitely not doing that with 182 subscribers, which I'm thankful for you all. Don't make me think I'm not. But I do believe it needs to be something that is looked at. And that's just my opinion. So I'm open to hearing it all. Challenge me. I'm happy to talk about it. Bear in mind I do see this on a daily basis, but hey ho. But comment, talk about it, let's have a discussion. I believe it is very important. I believe you should go watch Adolescent if you have not seen it already. Hopefully I've not spoiled anything for you. I think it is a very important piece of media that has come out. One of the most important TV shows this year, maybe in the last, I can't remember a more important one. Because it addresses issues that are happening right now in our society that are not being dealt with. And it is only going to get worse if it does not. That was my teacher voice there. You got a little glimpse into my strict teacher voice. Anyway, with all that being said, all that's left to say is any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.